Yeah, so my name is Dawn O'Dowd. I'm a quality engineer in pharmaceutical mostly. I'm also an EMT, emergency medical technician. I'm from Ireland. I'm from a town called Athlone, which is right in the centre of the Southern Ireland, as we call it. I came to Singapore in April of 2021, right in the middle of COVID. So it's just myself and my husband, Connor. We have no children. I have no siblings. I'm an only child, so it's just myself and my mum and dad, who are both still living in Ireland. So I grew up in a town called Athlone, which is, as I said, right in the centre of Ireland. And I grew up in, we'll say, a town setting, but a very small town setting. Grew up there, went to college there, and then met my now husband, Connor, and we moved to Galway, which is on the west coast of Ireland. We moved to the countryside, which I just loved. I love the countryside, I love nature. There's a lot of trails close to where we're living as well, so that just really suited me. And it's just so quiet as well compared to Singapore, which is really built up. Where I come from is not built up at all. It's, even though we're in a town, it's still quite a quiet town compared to Singapore, where I am now, right in the city centre, in the heart of it all. So yeah, it's a lot quieter from where I'm from. I started running, well, I was always kind of running when I was younger, and I did a little bit of cross country in secondary school, but it ended there. And then I suppose just growing up and everything, I started smoking. So in 2008, I decided, okay, I'm giving up the cigarettes, I'm going to start clean living, blah, blah, blah. So I started running again. I started with 5Ks, and 5Ks went on to 10Ks, went on to marathon, went on to half marathon, went on to marathon. And these were all road runs. So I was just road running from 2008. And 2015, I decided I'd take the step out to 50K. And that was in a park in Ireland called Portumna Park. And it was loops. It was a gravel, but it was still surrounded by nature. And it was 10 loops, 5K. And then after the 50K in Ireland, in Portumna, I thought, what else can I do? How can I push my body? I couldn't believe I was after doing 50 kilometers. How can I push my body and also push my mind? I was reading books and I was looking at what other people were doing, and I saw this race called Marathon des Sables, and I thought, oh my goodness, I would love to even try to do this. And I did the Marathon des Sables. I went on from that. Then I really got into desert running. I really loved the heat, and which is kind of unusual for somebody like me from Ireland, because it's not a warm country. But my body is able for heat more than it's able for the cold. My body, I can't function very well in cold weather. My body just cannot do it. But in the heat, my body can cope in warm climates. So I went there, I tried out Namibia, and then from there I went on and I did the Gobi. So I have the three deserts done so far. For me, I love, it's just the smell of the desert. It's the solitude. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's it really. I've done a few ultras here in Singapore, mostly through Running Guild, or Ben Swee, who's actually the race director of my next race, which is Singapore 200 miles. So that's where I am now. And my favourite part is, because it's stage races, so we'll say, for example, it's 250 kilometres over 6 days, for example. You're carrying everything yourself. The only thing that is provided for you is water and your tent to sleep in. So for me, my favourite section is, so it's all, we'll say, maybe day 1, for example, is 30 kilometres, day 2 maybe 42, goes on and on. One of the days in the middle of it all is the long stage. And for me, I love that, because usually you have maybe, for example, 24 hours to complete it, which means you're going to be in the desert at night. And for me, that's my favourite part. I'll even, not that I'm super fast, but I will even ease back a little so I can be under the stars. I mean, to be under the stars in the middle of the desert, for me, it's something else. It's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. I like to read a lot, and I like to cinema and movies, and that's really it. I also like to volunteer. I've been volunteering for a long time now, and that's really it. So it's 200 miles around Singapore, basically. It's all based in Singapore. It has an elevation of approximately 5,000 meters, and as I said, it's Ben Swee is the director. It is, as he calls it, a journey of discovery while exploring Singapore. So there you go. So that's what's going to be in my head for the whole thing. It's a journey of discovery for me mentally while exploring Singapore. Yeah. So I signed up initially. I thought I was after doing 100k run with Ben as well, the Crazy Ultra, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? You know, I always like to have a race to do, something to work towards. And I was looking on his website and I found the 200 mile, and I thought, and then I looked at 74 hours and what it entails, and I thought, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I will give it a go. So I thought, I wonder, is there anything else I can do? So as I said earlier, I do like to volunteer. And I'm currently volunteering with the Singapore Red Cross. And I'm heavily involved with the Red Cross Home for the Disabled, which came about through COVID, where they were looking for volunteers in the case that the nurses and the assistants would come down with COVID. So I volunteered, and it didn't happen, thankfully, because everybody remained well, thankfully. But when COVID ended then, well, not ended, but when we started to live with COVID, I became a full-time volunteer, really, in the home. So recently we're looking for kind of iPads or such devices, tablets, to enable the residents who are non-verbal to be able to communicate with us. So I thought, I wonder, could I raise funds for this? So here I am. So I've decided to sign up to giving.sg with the hope of getting some donations to raise funds for tablets, such devices, for the residents. So that's another reason why I'm doing the 200 mile. I set the target at $2,000 because I thought I'm going to get 2 decent tablets for this. If I can get more, I can get more, and all the better, because the more the better, because the home relies 100% on donations. So for now it is $2,000, but the last time I looked it was $870. Yeah. So as I said, the cutoff is 74 hours. I would love to finish before the 74 hours. I really would. That would be my goal. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But my goal would be even 70 hours. And if I can get in under that, well, all the better. But that would be my goal. So I try to do 4 to 5 days a week of running. I also do yoga and swimming, which I don't like. I really don't. It's just not for me. But I do it because I know I need to. I need to do something other than just running. So I do that as well. Maybe again once a week, maybe, for the yoga and the swimming. I really need to up that a little bit. But it's the running I'm doing, and if I'm not running, I'm walking. So I'm always really trying to spend time on my feet, walking, running, or hiking. And usually I will do one long day on the trails here in Singapore, and then the rest then is on the roads. So usually around ECP, which is East Coast Park in Singapore as well. So nutrition, I'm vegetarian, and the reason I suppose I'm not vegan is I would love to be vegan, but I love cheese, and I also think cheese has so much in it. It's really good nutrition wise, protein, everything, and yogurts as well. So I really try to go for the more natural, in the sense of that. With cheese and yogurts, I really try to stick natural that way. The same with my diet, as in a more plant-based. So I wouldn't go down the route of, we'll say, the impossible meat. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but anything like that I won't. I'll make my own burgers, for example, and I'll make them, we'll say, from lentils, oats, flax seeds, a lot of spices. So I know I'm getting especially for protein, especially for me who's getting a little bit older, I need that little bit extra protein. So that's how I kind of get my proteins in. My fats then will come from, let's say, the likes of the cheese and also avocados. So I do eat relatively clean. I really try to. Nutrition wise then, on our own would be gels, say the likes of almonds, and my treat for myself when I'm on a run is chocolate M&Ms. So that's really it. Again, with nutrition, I suppose we can bring in drinks as well. I'll have electrolyte drinks. I also take my salt tablets because it is quite warm in Singapore. And then after my long run, I take my protein shake. And I try to use coconut water in with my protein shake, so I'm getting some extra electrolytes as well, natural electrolytes rather than powder. In relation to the mental side of it, that can be tough. I mean, if I'm down and low, I'm like, this isn't happening. It really, I really have to work hard to get myself out of that. I can really beat myself up. And I often say to myself, and I'm trying to work on this recently as well, if my friend spoke to me like this, or if I spoke to one of my friends like this, we wouldn't be friends. So how am I allowing myself to speak to myself like this? Like really, if I go wrong, I really, really beat myself up. So I'm trying to get out of that. And I'm trying to really keep positive, because again, 200 miles, sleep deprivation, hunger, everything else that's going to go along with it, I'm going to have these really, really dark episodes. And I know I am. And I really need to prepare myself for that, and at the end of the day, I'm doing it, number one, for the guys in the home, and number two, for myself. So do it. If you have any where you're even thinking about it, do it. Even get into the trails. I mean, I often thought like trail running, no, because you can't switch off when you're on the trails because you're always concentrating, so how is that even going to be enjoyable? It is the most enjoyable thing I can do. It's amazing. You're often as well the solitude of it, especially with ultra running. And I love solitude. I love the kind of loneliness of it as well, where you can just be with yourself. You don't have to think about anything else or anybody else. So just, if you're thinking about it all, go for it. Just go for it. And as well, like, just be yourself. What suits you isn't going to suit everybody. So just you do what suits you. Take advice. Take positive advice, and surround yourself with people like yourself, because I think people who do ultras, we are different than your normal, regular, everyday people. I think there is something different about us, definitely. But I think if you're going to do it, listen to yourself and enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it. Yeah.